Sword in a rock, I don't wanna get stuck. It's a war that I must win. So tired, anxiety gripping inside. It's a literal fight for the inner gear. Looking for the climb, but I never did. No assistance, fine, I was going in anyway. Biding my time, but now I'm in your face. Come here, snap back in the focus. Even amidst the past, something hopeless. Class mode open, I mastered emotions. Level up, then I mastered emotions. Anchored in the fire, fortified in devotion. You lose, the epitome of resilience. You bruise, never retreat. I take the point, I cannot defeat the fate. Of course, I'm ready to beat any you choose.
Already burning out the fuse. I know there's nothing left to lose.
Mike the Ref Maloney, Big Bad Boris on the call here tonight.
Let's go! Third! The Super Kick Party! Yeah, pay the money for that.
And of course, you gotta get the Coppins. Hey, yo, 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 and away we go. Happy Wednesday night to one and all as we are getting ready for the AEW Sidecast once again. Pleasure to have you all here. It's been an interesting week to say the least. According to some fans, kayfabe is actually absolutely destroyed for all of wrestling. For others, it's just been one hell of a normal week for us. But whether you're watching this on YouTube, whether you're watching this on Twitch, thank you for being here. Always appreciate you. We are going to see maybe if we can get back into TikTok, but after the first ban, I don't know if I really want to worry about it a whole lot. But yeah, just make sure you do all the things. Hit the follow, hit the subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you really like what you see here, consider subscribing over on the Twitch channel. After we're done here tonight, we're going to get into some IGM. Whether it's going to be 2 of us, 3 of us, or 4 of us, I don't know, but we're going to figure that out here. So, but yeah, we are. We're on the way. We're on our last week of Chicago. That's one of the big things. I think that's probably the biggest story we got going today, is the fact that this is the last week of Chicago. Hey, Eric, good to see you here tonight. Appreciate you here. Always happy to see all of ya here. But yeah, it's our last week in Chicago. We got probably the biggest match that they could plan for the last Dynamite Chicago here with Hangman Page and Jon Moxley. Nobody at ringside. So basically, this is one of those points where they want Hangman to prove himself here, basically. It's one of those, yeah, let's get rid of all the BS and let's just show, yes, Hangman was the right choice. Or not. Or does MJF cash in tonight? We don't know. Honestly, with the success of MJF with Happy Gilmore this week, it wouldn't surprise me if they do the cash in tonight. And I think it could be a little bit insane. Hey, Nats fan, how you doing? Everybody just filing in, getting ready for a great show tonight. I guess I should turn the channel so I'm actually on the right station, right? I was, hey, Zodiac, how you doing here? But yeah, I think there might be a possibility we get a cash in tonight just because of, with MJF and his big success here in Happy Gilmore, the fact you could have the AEW champion with the title, with the debut of a great movie. I guess I know it's on Netflix, but it's going to be funny this week. Every streaming service that WWE holds, an AEW star is taking over it. On Netflix, it's MJF and Happy Gilmore. On Peacock, it's Twisted Metal with Samoa Joe. So, just a nice little coincidence. There's going to be other ways it's going to be happening as well, like seeing John Cena's Peacemaker all over the DC universe, which is owned by Warner Brothers. it's potato, as it would say. But yeah, tonight we got 4 matches scheduled that'll actually be really good. Got my AEW shirt on. Let's see if a good show. Hey, different styles. Good to see you tonight. Yeah, I got my Jay Briscoe tribute shirt from when he passed on a couple years ago. So, yeah, you got the Outrunners taking on the Bucks, which I think the Outrunners have a pretty good chance at this one just because they want to get back to that Outrunners FTR match in many ways. Or you could do Bucks and FTR. Either way. You also could, well, we're also going to get Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe. Speaking of Briscoe here. That'll be a fun match. We got the tag match between Toni Storm and Alex Windsor against the team of Athena and Billie Starks, who Billie, I believe she said she's starting her graduate class in a couple weeks. So, if you're wondering why Billie Starks hasn't got a huge push over in AEW, maybe the fact that she's still in school does it. But AEW Punk shirt on. Ugh. Bunch of high spots to start. Wouldn't surprise me here. And then, of course, like I said, the biggest match of the week, I think, in many ways, could be Hangman Mox with no interference. So we got matches all over the way. Punk's the reason. I can understand that. I will never put it against somebody for the reason they're becoming a wrestling fan. Just glad that they are. I think in the last couple weeks, it's been very apparent to a lot of people that, you know, they need to respect people's fandom for wrestling. And I try to do that as much as I can here. I have my own bias on who my favorites, and I'm sure you do as well. But with everything going on in the past couple weeks here and all the controversies going around, it's been very nuclear. A little more nuclear than usual because, well, let's just face it. X is a toilet bowl at the best of times. But more so in the last few weeks here. I'm just glad you guys are all here. Guys and girls, sorry, when I say guys, I mean generally everybody. My apologies. But the fact we get such a great crowd in here that is very positive to each other. There are some dipwits that show up, and I get rid of them pretty quick. So I love that MJF's literally getting on every show. Oh, and before I forget, now I wanted to bring up this comment. I want to bring up thoughts. I want to think what you guys think. World's End just got announced for Chicago for the last Saturday in December. What do you guys think of another pay-per-view in Chicago? I think I made my comment very simple. If I was a billionaire and I owned a wrestling promotion and I could have a pay-per-view whenever I wanted, 10 minutes from my house or 20 minutes or whatever from my mansion, you damn right I'm going to do it. Too far out to think about it right now? Are we seriously going to start with the heavyweight title match? That'd be pretty amazing if you ask me. What do you guys think about these new production videos? I think they're actually pretty cool here. Be cool if they had a pay-per-view down here in Jackswell. I'm actually surprised that Full Gear isn't set up for down there during the NFL season. But I think last year after the the kerfluffle of the beginning of the brand. When everybody got branded all over the place. Hey, I will say this, different styles, and I can feel for you. I guarantee you, Mercedes is going to get a pay-per-view to Boston. Mercedes will. She had that risky business, or whatever you want to call it. The first time she got introduced, that was considered a major show. Wasn't a pay-per-view, but it was pretty damn close. But you're not going to get a pay-per-view this year for the mere fact that probably the biggest pay-per-view in the last 10 years is going to be happening over in Boston in December. Whatever they call it. The John Cena retirement pay-per-view. I'll guarantee you they're going to have that there. And I think TK wants to get the hell out of the way of that. And I don't blame him whatsoever. Everyone banned from ringside. Can Darby drop weapons from the rafters? No. Ringside is airspace too. If that wasn't the case, you'd actually have to go to the top rope. I just can't believe they're actually going to do them. They're going to do Hangman and Mox fire off the bat here tonight? Can Hangman get a pay-per-view to Virginia? Do you have a venue big enough for it? Because the thing is, you need something that'll hold 10,000 people for a pay-per-view for AEW. It's been to the point now where you know you're going to consistently get 10,000 people. I don't care that. But DC Metro has to, yeah. No, they're doing the promo segment first. No, they were basically showing off a preview video of what's coming up tonight. Different styles. Sort of a hook for people that are watching. You see that video and you're like, this is what's coming up tonight. We are getting the crazy spot fest match right off the bat for you there. So you know what? I wouldn't put it past Tony Khan for doing that either, though. He has run main events out the beginning of the show just to make sure he gets those viewers. But you also got to look at what's going on outside of this. Oh my God. The Bucks got the already in the ring entrance. The Bucks got it already in the ring entrance tonight. Oh my God, that is amazing. Thing about Virginia is they don't have a single city with a population over 300,000 or some weird stat. Yeah, like. Norfolk Scope can hold 10,200. Yeah, I'm thinking more mid-10s, not just 10,000 itself. Oh yeah, the generic, basically the nameplate template that I use for every video I did when I was recording. When I used to do video, I like if you guys take a look on the YouTube channel that this is on right now. There are matches on there. I actually do the graphics for those. All the production on the matches is mine. So yeah, I would have the stock templates like that, and I'd use them all the time. The fact they couldn't take the effort to actually change it. Oh, by the way, Nats, I think you're talking about West Virginia, not Virginia. Uh-oh, we got statistical workings on in here. I'm going to stay out of this one. You guys can have fun with this because, well, something that SRS has taught us here today. Don't let facts get in the way of a good story, right? I can't believe how much crap that guy goes through. And you knew there was going to be some kind of drama that came out of those Unreal shows. And it seems to be weird ones all the way around. I wonder if the Bucks win this just to try and reclaim their level, or do they truly bottom out again? Oh no, OSW Review actually put out the poster for that, I do believe, Different Styles. They actually switched over to Newport Menthols. And I love that idea. See, unfortunately here in Canada, every pack of cigarettes that we have now, $14 million people visit Virginia Beach. There you go. Sorry, Nats. I told you I'm not getting involved. There you go. Everything's cleaned up in the chat. Everybody shake hands. You know, be nice to each other. Give each other a nice hug. They're doing the semifinal tomorrow too? So they're going to do a quarterfinal and a semifinal tomorrow. All right. Which means the winner of this versus the winner of tomorrow's quarterfinal is going to be probably next Dynamite. Just seeing people so many people adamant about the Outrunners winning. Who's a superstar? You! Actually enjoyed Unreal. And I'm happy you did. I checked out the first episode so far. Checked it out over breakfast this morning. And honestly, I don't know how much I'm looking forward to the rest of it. Because I got a feeling that there is going to be some heavy level BS coming up. With the Newport themed gear, I'm now looking for Magnum themed. Now, could that Magnum TA themed gear? Now, that would be cool. But no, as I was mentioning, tough to watch. I'm going to try again just to watch. Honestly, the first one is very dry, I found. From what I've seen about Unreal. I've also worked backstage. Are you saying the gear would be too big for them? All right. As somebody who's worked backstage, I would really. It's going to be interesting to see how much they bullshitified that show, Unreal, for a lot of the stuff there, because I want people to realize something. I agree with Dave LaGreca, not a wrestler, but have been backstage. And I've worked... One of my biggest prides here in my career, and a lot of people don't know this that are watching here. Pre-pandemic, I have worked with every single promotion in the province of Alberta. And I think I'm one of the very few Let's work with all 7 promotions that were in Alberta pre-pandemic in some form or fashion. So you get a little bit of a vibe check on them because up here, wrestlers were very segregated on about which promotion they were supposed to work. So there were very different sets of atmospheres here. It's not up to me to talk about the backstage workings on them. I'd rather see other promotions do a... Meaning you don't ask their first name, etc. I work for Mike Sparta at W. That's true. Would you agree that AEW All Access was the beginning of the end for Britt Baker? Remember, she was shown bullying Thunder. No, personally, I think it's the injury that was the beginning of the end for her. Because let's face it, she has a back problem right now. But the problem is when you have a back problem, it takes forever to come back. And when you're trying to come back, if not everybody is on the same page and wanting to work with you as much as you want to, that trip gets a lot harder. And the incentive to come back is a lot harder. For all we know, she could show up in 2 weeks. Like we were talking about September 24th, she is in, she's going to be in, or AEW is going to be in Pittsburgh. So let's not, once again, let's not pull the curtain back too far here when it comes to Britt. Yes, I've made it known that before I was one of the biggest Britt fans around here. But I'm also a realist here. The fact that, odds are she probably will not be back. I just hope she's okay. That's the biggest thing myself. Mike and Danny Davis, okay. So yeah, WWE New England and yeah, Danny Davis. Danny Davis always, everybody knows who he was, especially if you grew up in the 80s. And PJC, we're doing good tonight. Are you in tonight for 2K as we wrap up season 1 there? Because Vic is no then yes and no then maybe. So we're going to see what goes on. Indeed you are? Okay, so we are going to finish up season 1. If Vic can make it, great. If not, he's getting the CPU treatment. Frankly, because I want to get this season 1 done before the end of July. I always feel bad for Matt because he's always doing his standing moonsault onto somebody's knees. So he's always getting beaten up on that move. Nick's always getting the senton on the chest, so he's got extra padding to work on. It would be hilarious. AEW brings back Dark and Toni makes the Bucks wrestle for free. So funny you mentioned that, Nats. Toni did an interview today just to pump up the last couple days of Chicago here and the announcement of World's End coming to Chicago the end of December. And the question of AEW Dark was brought up. And Toni gave his generally politically correct answer of, I would love to bring it back. It was a great time. And, but it would have to be the right situation and the right experience for our broadcast partner, Warner WB. Nick Jackson super kicked the bicep pose. You son of a bitch. Isn't that the way they go now? Now with the new YouTube guidelines, we don't have to worry about things as much. If you haven't heard, they opened up the ordinance on swearing. Oh God, there's 1, there's 2. There's 4. and an inside out clothesline. Dark was great. Yeah, like Dark had a lot of great stories. Dark had the ability to get people over. Yeah, different styles. If you're looking for the new YouTube guidelines, check out new YouTube monetization guidelines. Just search it out. They actually sent out a video about it. You automatically don't get dinged for swearing in the first 7 seconds anymore. But your percentage of swearing and your, depending how much occurrence of swearing you do, will determine whether you get demonetized or not. If you're spending your whole show swearing throughout the whole thing, YouTube doing a great job of communicating. They're doing better. I'm not going to say they're doing great. I don't want to say they're doing great because, well, I just canceled my Google Drive membership today. I love Dark. As someone who doesn't like subscription services, live wrestling on YouTube is pretty neat. One of the great things WWE excels. Yeah. The one thing about AEW is the fact they are starting to put more matches up on the YouTube channel. It is a lot more hit and miss about what they're picking. Just because they have the catalog the way it is. Yeah, this is turning out to be a great match. Oh, God. Why are you not wearing a cup, you yuts? No way! Oh, that would have been fun. Obsessed with the wrestling on YouTube, i.e. WWE Vaults, yeah. I will admit, their social media squad for WWE is absolutely insane. Oh, God. Whoa, hold on here. Hold the phone. Why are you not watching your partner, you gosh dang son of a... The ROH channel has become pretty great with some classics. They put up their stream another day. Another had a Joe Kobayashi match. Yeah. We used to use VHS. Yeah. Well, remember those times. It's like a comment that came up on X earlier this week. And once again, it was talking about SRS there. They were asking, well, the Bucks won. Sorry, Zodiac, I spoiled it early, but that was a hell of a finish. No music, but they got it. Not surprised. Well, the Bucks versus Brodito will be a hell of a match. Yeah, it looks like we're going to get Bucks FTR again. Could you imagine FTR Bang Bang Gang? Oh, my friends. Bucks FTR would be on fire, even if absolutely. Like, remember, folks, what are we fighting about? The fact we get to see another FTR Bucks match? Yes. All right, you enjoy. With all due respect, Nats, I'm not going to think of you in the shower.
No.
I better, yeah, I'll use this one.
Sir, no, sir!
I'm assuming Swerve's coming out here soon. Speaking of predictable. So Nana's going to do the... All right. I give Swerve credit for not doing the dance or anything coming out. He's coming straight out. But Prince Nana coming out to do his coffee bit while the guys are getting beaten up. Well, it looks like we're getting a 6-man tag soon. Holy crap. Okada giving a backdrop driver to the Outrunners? And I say given the, you're getting permission to do this move to me. Oh, Swerve. That was great. Swerve just looks at the outright. He's like, yeah, 1 minute. I'm going to go up 1 minute. Just runs right up the rope and just gets the stomp in anyway. It's gotta be good to be Prince Nana. Going from selling weed in the back of his car at ROH shows to getting to dance in the ring with a former world champion, probably future world champion. You can't tell me that isn't a little bit awesome. Why is he wearing sunglasses for his chin? Like, is he growing gills down there that he has to cover up? Just ignores the promo and just keeps going. That is awesome right there. Briscoe's like, yeah, no, I don't care about you, Ricochet. I'm going to go back and talk about MJF again. Why wouldn't we have... They should get some clips of MJF and Happy Gilmore. Just get some permission to show those during the show. Yes, it would make MJF look like a good guy, but just shows that he has some skills and got some notoriety. As we're getting an Amazing Race commercial coming out of that, but no, tonight, like, our first half hour is actually pretty cool here with the Bucks and Outrunners. We got a promo package to tell us what's coming up later. As long as we don't get that promo package 4 times, I think it'll be fine. And now I'm assuming we're going to get the women's tag next. Unless we're going to hear from Christian Cage, because he is actually going to be here tonight as well. So it makes me really wonder what's going to happen here. Are they going to do Forbidden Door? Probably a lot to it. Kind of like why WWE play the Becky Lynch part unless they did. Yeah. Well, there very well could be a possibility that WWE soured the movie studio on showing any clips, period. Because apparently the story is WWE was willing to show off clips of Happy Gilmore, but they had to not include MJF at all. That's why I get such a kick out of the fact that, wait till, tomorrow. You're going to be able to see the number one program on Peacock starting tomorrow. Probably is going to have an AEW wrestler in it. And that's the thing, like different styles. It's the fact that we're seeing, like, as we're watching Unreal, you do have to take it with about 16 pounds of salt. And anything that WWE puts out, they've got a track record of having to put a ton of salt on it. Just to, got to be careful on what you're looking at here. Because if you believe what has been told through a lot of the banter, the lore, and whatnot, and this even goes back to Hogan, and yet, no, I'm not going to doubt what Hogan did for the WWF. But from what they make it sound like there was absolutely nobody at the shows, and it was all over drunk males at wrestling shows prior to Hogan. And it wasn't. It was multiple promotions selling out 15,000 plus arenas, selling out baseball stadiums. A lot more baseball stadiums were used back then. Business was thriving all across the country. TV business, maybe not as much, because it was all regionalized. But once it started, and Japan as well, yeah, like everything was flourishing. The biggest thing that, wrestling would eventually caught on without Hogan, but it would take exactly. It almost feels like I should do how the ref would book wrestling without Hogan. Could you imagine the amount of flack I would take for that? Thing is, Vince had a massive amount to do with that too. Exactly. It's the PR machine more. And it's one thing I covered in my video. If it wasn't going to be Hogan, it was going to be somebody else. Wow. A pool of your old piss. Well, at least it's straightforward now. It's no divine. Well, the thing is, you're the one who asked for the damn camera crew. Christian's actually getting cheered right now. This is going to be an interesting interview, to say the least. Now, I think there's going to be a lot of sitting back, and I guess we could talk about it quite a bit. And one thing I want to remind people when it comes to Vince, and yes, I'm going to dogpile on Vince McMahon as much as humanly possible. He broke his dying wish. Wonder where Hulk Hogan's agent he used to have is? I don't know who his agent was. Oh, Vince McMahon. What I would recommend, I could explain it all. But there's a podcast that I used to. Oh, Bubba the Love Sponge. He's still doing radio. No, I don't even want to deal with him. But we'll get to Christian Cage here in a sec. Just do yourself a favor. There's a podcast out there called How to Wrestling. It's made by one of the guys from OSW Review. It's How with the number 2 in wrestling. They did an episode on Vince McMahon, talking about his real growing up, and it's basically a husband helping a wife that doesn't know much about wrestling learn about different wrestling people. It is one of the most difficult episodes that I've had to listen to. Oh my God! Christian just called himself an asshole! Remember, he had this one guy that helped him make all the decisions. Yeah. This might be the way to do it. I came. There you go. There's a clip for you, folks. Nope, I don't think so. I'll get to that in a sec here, Nats. He wants this crowd to boo or cheer, son, and nobody's doing it. Darren Prince, okay. I heard that they were a bit of not they were basically hauling Hogan all over the place here prior to his death. The managers and such. The hell are they trying to chant? You're trying to do a face promo and it just this is the hardest one to do. What? Yeah, ask Matt Hardy about that. He is looking for boos that aren't there. It's like, what the hell are you telling? Uh-oh. I got a feeling we're gonna get a pay-per-view match Forbidden Door. What the? Wow. Christian going creepy. Normally agents won't say a whole lot. They'll be quick on it. Uh-huh. This crowd is not gravitating to this promo. He is good on the mic, but uh-huh. I think this is where we get our Forbidden Door match. So, with all due respect, this is not a promo that. This is a long term promo. This isn't a short term promo here. Uh oh. He knew it was coming. He just didn't know where. Okay. Here comes the music, or do they actually hit it? Nope, they hit it. Thought that already happened. Definitely knew it was coming. No, they hadn't had anything since the pay-per-view. No, this is the point where how many weeks do we have left? We have 4 weeks until Forbidden Door. You get Cope in here, and you get that Christian Cope sort of, maybe they'll have a random meeting backstage now after this. I think we're going to get a Nick Wayne versus Christian Cage match at Forbidden Door. And at the end of that, when we're going to get Cope with the save and the big hug and in London and all that. Wait, what? Folks, call your friends, call your enemies, call everybody. The main event's on now. It looks like the women are going to be main eventing tonight in the main event spot. Hangman and Moxley is going on right now. Call your friends, call your enemies, call everybody. Let's get everybody in here. It's go time now. Okay. Makes me wonder what kind of ending they're going to have for the show tonight. If they're going to do it at the top of the second. I don't mind this just for the fact that, you can have the opportunity to basically when you do this, it tells you fans you got to show up at any time to watch. Yeah, Nat, sorry, I was getting there long term because we had to get through the booking and I was just about done there. I think what happens here is you get Nick Wayne versus Christian at Forbidden Door. That's when you get the reuniting with Cope. You have FTR beat the Hurt Syndicate for the titles at Forbidden Door in this end of this tournament. And then FTR loses to Cope and Christian at All Out in Toronto for the titles. And that's when you can start your retirement run with those two. I smell a rat in that World Heavyweight title. I do too. But if you could see where my bits and pieces are falling together here about the All Out, you don't think about what's going to happen soon. You got to think 3 steps ahead and just see where everything sort of... The one thing about Tony Khan is he does like to have those, all pun intended, Hollywood ending. With all due respect to Mariah May and Tony Storm. He likes to have those special Hollywood endings for certain moments here. Just like the main event of All In was Hangman winning in the middle of Texas Stadium, the Cowboy being victorious. A Maple Leaf ending. I'll give you that one. And that might also be the reason why we have this match in the middle here, because... Quick question, chat. Maybe you can help me out with this one. Moxley and Cope, after Revolution, was that in the middle of the card too with the women main eventing? If I do remember going back to February, I think that was the case. At Revolution, March, my bad. At Revolution, Moxley and Cope were bashed about having such a WWE style match. I don't want to say bad match. But we also had the next Wednesday, we had Mariah May, I think it was Toni Storm out there in the main event segment, or it was one of the women's matches. And Cope versus Mox in a Anything Goes match was in the middle of the show. I haven't had a chance to see it. I heard it was very good there, Nats. Gang, gang, bang, gang. I'm glad to see Stokely, is in better shape than he thought he was. Yeah, I heard that Wesley and Javon was great. I heard Blake Monroe's promo was absolutely horrible. And other than that, I haven't heard a whole lot from what happened from NXT last night. Do they really think that 4 security guards is going to be enough for this match? Santino Page was awful. Lay response, yeah, I can't remember. I went in April too. I was watching. No, don't worry about a late response. We're all here just having a good time, and I'm sorry if I don't answer questions right away. Sometimes my mind just some other way here, so. But yeah, no, this is security's trying, they don't want to be in the scene, but they got to be in the scene kind of deal here. So, question for you, Chad. I have to ask it since we got a little bit of time here. Now that we've pretty much finished off the Chicago run here, like we got tonight and tomorrow night, right? Like tomorrow night's main event, I'm assuming is going to be Dustin and Kyle Fletcher for the TNT title in a Chicago street fight. What do you think about the residency in Chicago? You think it's really paid off? I know a lot of people were complaining about it being right after All In and just having that huge audience. For me, I think it's more about the vibe and just, it makes the pay-per-views feel a lot more special when they're in huge venues while TV isn't. It was good. I'm ready for new venue. Yeah, we get another month of new venues. And then starting in September, they're in the 2300 for 3 weeks. Basically, after Forbidden Door, up until that night I was telling you about where they're going to Pittsburgh. So, excited for the 2300? It'll be interesting because, that building has been changed and renovated, and I don't think the bingo stand is sitting there. Good business move, but same venue, meh. I feel ya. For me personally, it all comes down to the crowd. Do you think any ECW guys should? I think so. But it all depends on who's under contract, who isn't. I know that WWE did plan a show for the 2300 the week before the residency, but then decided to cancel it. So I think they're just going to be running Raw at the Wachovia Center. Or whatever it's called now, the old Spectrum, wherever the Flyers play. So why are the fans not banned from ringside? If everybody's banned from ringside, should have changed. They could have changed the lighting on the backdrop this week, maybe. Honestly, a show like this actually feels like it's a little bit more like Hammerstein to me personally, a little bit. Told Nick yesterday I have a Bully Ray appearing on Dynamite Collision 23. There is no way in bloody blue hell that Bully Ray will show up on those AEW shows. He is knee deep in the WWE program right now with the fact that he has been booked for Bound for Glory now. Him and Devon are booked against the Hardys for Bound for Glory in October. In Massachusetts. And I'm sorry, different styles. I know you want it saying in Boston. It's about as close as you're going to get this year outside of Cena's finale. We're getting Victory Road here in Edmonton where I am for TNA. So, which reminds me, I got to get my ticket here, but we're not at the point of sold out yet. They're still looking for Stream Team. They're looking for Stream Team members, right? Or Street Team, sorry. It's funny because all my friends wanted to be part of the Street Team, but then they realized all they get is tickets. They've already got their tickets. All they're going to get out of it is like some photographs. Did I completely forgot about the Dudleys and Hardys? I think most of us have. Like, I really don't know what Devon's going to do in that match, but look at what we got here. So what do you think about the dynamic here of having nobody at ringside? Like, this is going to be a pure wrestling match between these two. Like, we do expect it to be violent. We do expect them to go out of the ring and brawl a little bit. Old school, yes. A very good old school feeling. The only thing I'm a little disappointed about with this is that I'm not happy with we got we got the unified title, right? They want to treat it like a world title, and the rules are everybody's banned from ringside. So basically they're using the unified rules for this. You notice how Moxley turned around and said move? Hangman, be careful. Those barricades sort of end the ringside part of it. Let me talk about this match. Oh, yeah. All day tomorrow? Yeah. Oh, no, I get it. Just every championship should be known at ringside. I think establishes a precedent. I think if your title states that, You should do that. You should have a title that specifically states that, and that's what the unified title is doing now. Because if you didn't hear, after the unification between Omega and Okada, since the Continental Championship won, Tony Khan indicated that it will be fought under Continental rules. So I do think you should allow a little bit of tankerness around ringside for this. Because you want to make sure your titles are different. You have a different feeling, right? But I understand where you're coming from. That this match should have been cage. But here's the thing. Also said Carnage in this about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Eric, if you put this as a cage match, in that case, what you're opening yourself up to is Swerve Hangman. Because when people think of cage match, they think of Hangman Page. The first thing they're going to think of is the hypodermic needle in the chair, the cement block in the ring. There is no way in God's green earth that they were going to allow that kind of match on TV. You notice they haven't, the only match they've had like that. Yes, I understand. Pro Wrestling Nation, the busted open, whichever way you want to call it there. Unfortunately, my free membership of my free trial series ran out, so I haven't been listening. So, gotta save some money this time of year right now. Too many dang pay-per-views to pay for. Plus a lot of plus we got a lot of DLC coming out in the video game side next month, so I still got to pick up my character pass for Street Fighter 6 for next Thursday. No, Tuesday, sorry. When Sagat comes out. And plus, Evo's coming out this weekend, so it's going to affect our stream schedule a little bit. Oh, God. Both guys just laying each other out here. But this is a straight-up wrestling match, and I do enjoy that. Come on, Mox. You know how to do a buckshot. Let's go. Well, that's what happens when you deal with a left-handed lariat. I've always loved that that the lore is that a northern lariat is 10 times worse than a regular clothesline. Hangman just taking too much time there to relax, even though he's just, his part. Sky high power bomb. I've always loved that sky high for somebody who isn't big. Because it ends up being like, rather than being a power move, it's more of a momentum move. Because if you can lift somebody high off their feet and just drop down with them, basically anybody of any size could really do that. It's about changing the momentum. It's not actually about showing off your power. What has Mox got planned now? Well, Hangman should be dead. He's like, I am the world champ. This is me. I am the real world champion. I am the champion. So we're like, I am the table. See, going into picture-in-picture right now, that's not... Personally, I try to haul Hangman back in the ring and try to pin him right away here. But the story of this match has been really well done right now. Well, and Styles, the thing about this, and WWE has a different move set, and, you know, insurance has a lot to do with that. The pile driver is banned because, well, how do I put this politely? I find the biggest difference between AEW and WWE, and there's an advantage to both on both sides when I say this. And we all know it. WWE works on creating their own stars. With that being said, there is a certain level of development that is there with those wrestlers compared to the established ones that you find here in AEW. AEW is mostly picking up talent that's been around, that's been working on the indies, that's has a solid background, and they're experienced. So, performing a move like a pile driver to somebody with years of experience and whatnot, yes, there will be mistakes. Don't get me wrong. Nobody's perfect, well, except for anybody that's sitting here in the chat today. But, for the most part, you can trust the majority of the people in this group to be able to pull off moves like this without injuring your opponent, partner, whichever way you want to go with it. In WWE, can't guarantee that as much. Well, Zodiac, we all know you're in first place in my GM right now, so I'm just acknowledging it and allow you to carry on. If I'm perfect, I wouldn't be a Washington sports fan. I thought you were first going into the last one. You're not... Oh, you're... Okay. That's fair. But yeah, folks, if you haven't heard earlier, we are going to be finishing up season 1 of my GM here tonight. Keep stars at a discount. That's fair. I just build up my own stars, you know. And just to clarify for anybody else that's asking, we are doing 2 streams tomorrow. The first one's actually going to be at 9 a.m. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. 5 years ago on Ring of Honor TV, the Bucks had a promo where they indicate that Hangman Page was nothing but a jobber. Well, what kind of entrance did the Bucks get tonight? Thank you for sending me that, Nats, by the way. If you ever want to send that link in the chat, I can always, if I don't want it in there, I can get rid of it. So feel free. I trust you guys. I just don't want, suspicious links in my chat. There you go. For anybody that's watching on Twitch, you can just click on the link. That shows the poster of it there. Gotta love wrestling fans. No, they don't. But the problem is they also have revisionist history. We were talking about this earlier. Now I'm wondering, sorry, getting back to this match here. Is this match a little bit of statement by Mox? Indicating that he can do this kind of match and get it over to the level he needs to? Because this crowd seems to be all over it. Granted, they don't have the Hollywood ending to follow up behind. What a lariat. Jesus, criminy. Less bleeding and actually wrestling? To a point. I just think it's more the actual wrestling part. If you actually look at it, Moxley has been bleeding a lot less lately. In terms of matches, he has actually cut that back. Because remember, like, anytime that Moxley wrestles a wrestling match, or the last couple times, they were complaining that it was too WWE formulaic. Well, we're getting a pile driver on the announce table. Oh, we got the bird. Oh my God, not a dead eye. See, and that's another one again. Like, Page knows how to throw a dead eye properly. Because if you let your partner go down that a little too far there, and you hit the dead eye, it's basically a reverse pile driver, and that neck can go just like nothing. No, this is a fantastic bit of storytelling here, and I think the biggest story that we're getting out of this is both guys are just leaving it all out on the mat, around the ring. Love the most about the state of AEW 2025 is their focus on guys and girls on the roster, not doing some TK announcements. You know what? I wouldn't even mind a couple debuts. But don't forget about who you have. And now that he has a TV deal, he doesn't have to do as many stupid gimmicks or stunts. Oh my God. And there's another one, a tombstone pile driver like nothing. But you see how he did it. He did it safely. He knew exactly where to put him. His thighs are like tree trunks there, so. And the head went perfectly to the mat. Like, it may have grazed. That's about it. Everybody's yelling, watch your neck, watch your neck. Oh, here comes a callback. Now he got stuck in the bulldog choke. This is not good. Blame Nick Khan? Yeah. Sorry for the late response there, different styles. Just Caster Lab screwed up for a second there. He got unlocked the chat, so. I don't blame Nick Khan. I blame the insurance companies. Like, hell, look at what happened with Look what happened with Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, Saraya, Adam Copeland, and Edge. They were able to work. Just the insurance would not allow them to do it. It's a business. Never forget that. Oh my God, he's got a yes lock on. Well, Danielson's being hurt around here. Could you imagine Moxley going out with this? I love Moxley's how he scrounges the way he does. Like, he sets that level of desperation up, right? Just kick. Just like when he lost in the death match. When he got caught in the chain there and he's swinging back and forth and his face is turned blue. The level of desperation he had before he tapped out. Like, I honestly hope that Mox gets the opportunity to have a nice long vacation after this. Depending on what they're going to do with the Death Riders or whatnot. All right, who's going to yell it? Who's going to say it? Who's going to say it? Who's going to say it? Oh, Taz actually just went hard as hell. He didn't use the exact words. Thought he was going to say it. The hardest part of the ring. Oh, pile driver number 2. Yeah, I was waiting for you, Zodiac. I knew you were going to bring it up somehow. The hardest part of the ring. It's actually funny because if you guys remember the 6-sided ring that TNA used to use, because of the way the ring had to be supported in the middle, because of the shape that it was in, AJ Styles had always commented that that was basically falling on a boxing ring. Like, I don't know what it's like in Mexico with theirs. And I'm sure the technology's gotten better since the time the TNA had the 6-sided ring. Why are you giving Hangman a chance to wake up? Moxley's like, if you're going to hit me, hit me. Well, I guess, you're halfway. Well, what? They're 45 minutes into this. They got half an hour already into this match almost. Because I think, what was it? 10 minutes too that this started? So they're getting half an hour. Nope. Reversal finish. Referee knocked down. Dead eye. Oh, here. Folks. Shenanigans. Waiting for the shenanigans. And every fan in that crowd's like, all right, where are they? Here we go. Shenanigans. Shenanigans. Oh, this is going to be hilarious. That's how you get a pop of a crowd right there. That is a pop of a crowd. Now Marina should be caught and thrown out, right? Like, hello, security. No, this is for the title. No, this is fully for the title. This is why it was advertised the way that it was. Basically, the promo last week was, hey, Moxley, I dealt with everything you had. You threw at me. Now you have to win the title on the way that I'm going to do it. Straight up wrestling. Claudio, go back to your coffee shop. Why are you Oh my God. Well, that's why Claudio's shoving the security guy up there. Well, this is all not around ringside, so that makes sense. And Moxley's like, what the hell was that? Hey, Vic, how you doing? Doo. Back to one-on-one again. There's your lariat. Oh, he went for the dead eye and he shouldn't have. Oh my God, he pulled a Suzuki. And he fucked it up. Moxley tried to pull a Minoru Suzuki move there. Suzuki hits his sleeper just enough to weaken him up to go for the pile driver. And it ended up costing him. My God, what a match. You said Darby out of the ceiling, so technically he was out of the balcony, so that's different. But this is a hell of a match. You want to advertise AEW? This is how you do it. Do we get MJF? Maybe. I don't think so. They would have left this for the main event if they would have done that. If they were going to have a cash in, they probably would have sent this up for the main event. Because you don't want MJF winning the title in the middle of a show. But it was one simple mistake. Very nice match. I agree with you. No, this is like, they started this 45 minutes into the show, Vic. Looks like we're going to get the women's tag as the main. Either that or Ricochet and him and Briscoe, which wouldn't make no sense whatsoever. No, we still got like 40 minutes left. But once again, this is TK turning around and saying, look, you guys need to this is basically turning around saying you guys need to set yourselves up You need to be able to watch all of AEW Dynamite, all of AEW Collision. Because you never know when you're going to get a top match. And once again, just a mistake. He had the choke. He's won the title with the choke. And he thought he had to do a pile driver instead. So he tried to do the Suzuki method of hooking up the sleeper and switching over the pile driver. And it ended up costing him in the end. It almost feels like they should be fading to black here. And just a reminder, we will be here tomorrow night for AEW Collision. They're stalling for MJF. No, I think they didn't figure out, they didn't time out the show properly. That might have finished a little quick. But I think this street fight's going to be special, and I do think we're going to get a new champion tomorrow. Which actually makes a lot of sense if you look at it. Dustin Rhodes gets his reign. He gets a run in Chicago where he's defended the title twice. And then they just alter back to the thing that they were probably going to do it all in anyway and give Fletcher the title. By the way, best wishes to Adam Cole. He was on stream today with Liza P. Managed to get 3 hours in. Keep the belt on him? I wouldn't be against it. I just don't think it's going to happen, to be honest with you, Styles. I honestly feel that this 3-week run in Chicago is going to be enough for Dustin here at this point. I can always be wrong, and I'm more than willing to agree to be wrong. But to me, it feels like the right spot to just get the title where they want it to be going into Forbidden Door. Because I would think the TNT Championship would be one of those championships you'd want to take on one of the New Japan or maybe a Michael Oku. Maybe throw a Michael Oku versus Kyle Fletcher match. Set up for Forbidden Door. Because remember, this is Forbidden Door, but it doesn't necessarily have to be New Japan exclusively. And one of the two people that you probably would want to see as part of that whole New Japan contingent, Gabe Kidd ended up getting injured in the G1. And had to forfeit every match that he was in. I guess he got to work his first match, and then the rest of them he had to forfeit. And Otani just ended up getting... Apparently it's cramps, not... Dodger Star left start versus Reds due to cramps still in game as DH. Those cramps will get you every time, folks. Ooh, but what a match. But yeah, I could see a million different ways they go with this stuff, but I think this match here is basically the cherry on top of the crowning achievement of the Chicago run here. Tomorrow's street fight will probably be like a dessert finish. Because you know things are going to go awfully crazy there. But yeah, Styles, I'm with you. I would love to see Dustin keep the title and run with it a little bit more. But the only way we're going to be able to find out is if you join me here tomorrow. So make sure you're here 8 p.m. Eastern. Just a quick note, tomorrow night we will not have WWE 2K25 after. We're just going to have Collision. Following SummerSlam on Saturday, we will enter into week 4 of my solo My GM run on 2K25. So We could chat a little bit of wrestling and our thoughts on SummerSlam. But I'll give you guys a full rundown of what's going on before the main event here. So, what happened to holding the belt for like 6 years? All right, I'm going to stand corrected. We're getting Briscoe and Ricochet as our main event tonight. Good on Athena getting herself over the way that she has. I'll take that. I like it. Briscoe deserves. Well, absolutely. He is a main eventer now. And we were talking about this last week. He's gone from that mid-card jobber to the top-card jobber. He's getting a little bit of wins here and there, but all right. The music's a little different. I think she's got a little bit more new music now compared to what she had. And here comes Toni. I think Alex is not used to working in venues this big. Normally, your partner, you stay up on the ramp a little bit. In Rev Pro, you got to go right down to the ring because the ramp's maybe 10 feet. Oh, by the way, are you guys gonna get the big rubber guys for Toni Storm here? Tony Schiavone with the line of the night. Taz is like, yeah, I'll take you back to your youngin' days, and yeah, Tony's like, yeah, I remember junior high like this. That was the 1930s, man. Man, but Windsor just had such a great performance on Saturday in that ROH World title match on Collision. I honestly thought there was going to be a title change, and I almost thought it would make sense if you want to keep the title segregated, but because apparently Athena says that she's up on the AEW roster full time now. Oh, yeah, here we go. I'm going to face you. I'm going to face you. I'm going to face you. And let's duke it out. Let's duke it out. And then, no, we're not going to duke it out. I'm going to tag out. Classic. Oh, God. Billy with some shots here. Honestly, so much respect to Toni Storm. Like, she has done so much for this women's division. Like, this is a little bit of time of reflection, a little bit. I know that Athena's the big baddie now, the next big opponent, but until they actually do the title match, it almost feels like this is a little bit of time to take a breath, time to take a little analysis about what's going on. And as you just sit back and look, like, oh my God. Can you tell these two worked together before in England? Can you tell these two worked together before? Jesus. Yeah, Billy, I wouldn't want to hang on too long if you're going to get those chops like that. Oh, God. Oh, here we go. Oh, nice. Recover, Billy. I didn't expect Billy out there that quick. Let's not care who's legal. Let's just beat up everybody right now. Into a spine buster. I love that look from Athena. Just oh, like that won't be clipped sometime soon, chat. Ugh. No, you can tell that they're having a lot of fun in the ring, and that's another thing about this. And one thing I really enjoy about watching AEW is the fact everybody just looks like they're having fun. Like, yes, there is a certain level of intensity and role playing and the ability to make sure that everything's on there tight, right? But at the same time, it's still to the point where you can tell that these people are enjoying what they're doing. Rather than being out there because they have to be, they're out there because they want to be. And sometimes you don't get that a whole lot with some people. Like you could understand a paycheck versus a victory, right? Like I'll have to say, one of the best examples I found of somebody who just looks like they enjoy being out there every single time that they're there. Chelsea Green. Win or lose, whatever goofy spot she's in, and yes, I did see a little clip about what she said in Unread in the documentary about, win or lose, they still want you there. But she looks like she thoroughly enjoys being there every single day and just watching everything that she does. Toni Storm looks like she's having a blast. Just getting to run with this character the way it is. Athena is just, Athena runs around like she don't give a shit what anybody thinks of her. And that's sometimes one of the best attitudes to have as you're going along, so. As we're running through picture in picture here again. And if I haven't said it enough, folks, just thank you for being here. Appreciate you. For you guys over on YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. And those on Twitch, make sure you hit the follow button if you haven't already. And on both sides, if you like what you see, make sure consider hitting the subscribe button. For YouTube, you get access to every video that comes out. We just recently released a video on our YouTube channel. Shotzi Blackheart and the former Jinder Mahal We're here performing at our Klondike, or K-Days, it's called here in Edmonton. It's the city fair. One of our local promotions, Top Talent Pro Wrestling, was here for a couple days. Featured in that and got some pretty good crowds here. So a couple of the people here at Backbreaker were there to cover it. And the video is up right now. Looks vintage box right there with the teamwork. She's still out of the ring. Athena, what are you doing? I don't know why Athena really had to do that. She was legal anyway. Or, sorry, Billie was legal anyway. What is Billie now? 21 years old, I think? Like, her and Nick Wayne used to have matches all the time. Basically because they were the same age, going through the ranks and going through the indies the way they are. Is WWE still PG or did they go back? I think they're still PG, but they might be TV-13, I think, is the difference now. They're not MA-14, I know that, but a quick pop into Netflix will tell you right away. At least they got to give their ratings before on every section, so looked up the definition of AEW and it said all everyone's welcomed. Hey, you know what? Different styles, different friends, different personalities. And we're seeing a lot of that tonight, so that makes sense. Don't worry, give it a few years. AEW will be the synonymous phrase with AEW, so or All Elite Wrestling will be, sorry. AEW will be synonymous with AEW. Saw in here when they came back from commercial break, huh? That is the former Ember Moon, now known as Athena. She's been working in ROH. She is the ROH World Champion for over 900 days now. MA-14, and that makes sense because, you know Moxley wouldn't be allowed to use those fingers the way he did. I kind of, because you were asked about WWE, and that's why I wasn't sure if they're TV-13 or PG still. But yeah, definitely TV-14 for AEW. Because the thing is, MA-14, well, you're not going to get kicked off early night TV, so. Let's go Timeless, baby! Yeah, Toni's just done such a great job reinventing herself and just. It's a part you'll never miss. Oh, here we go. Oh, face. Oh, my God. I think South Park is as well. That doesn't surprise me. They don't have nudity. South Park's whatever they want to be because, frankly, I never said Blake Monroe would not be missed. Maybe in the past I thought it. I do think that there is a loaded roster here. I don't think any talent will not be missed. My theory is the same with people that go to sign for other companies. Good for you. We got lots here still. Hope you do well in your new company. Sorry, NWF. I'll pass on that one. Normally I wouldn't care, but it just give it some time to let the body get cold before you throw that out, okay? Ooh. Oh, as soon as he brings up the hurt Sid, the kid, bail. Bail. God, did they bail? Well, it looks like MJF's going to come out and ruin the main event as we get into our last commercial break before we wrap things up on this half. But as per tradition, I give you a little bit of a rundown because there is a little bit of a strategic change here in the next week about what's going to be going on with streams here. After we're done here, we're going to take about a 5-minute break, and then we're going to set up to finish up WWE 2K25 My GM Co-op Season 1. PJC's here. I think Vic's going to be here since he's been in the chat already. And then Zodiac's here as well. We are going to wrap up Season 1. Right now I'm in the lead, and apparently I have to lose this week big time. Or lose this section. Apparently we're all diving for last place kind of thing. But tomorrow morning we're gonna have a special stream. It just got announced yesterday, the Nintendo Direct. I will be here at 9 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Mountain. Yes, it'll be that early. I'll bring the coffee. We're gonna check out the Nintendo Direct together. Then we'll play a little bit of River City Girls for a bit. But then we're gonna be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern for AEW Collision. No stream Friday. Saturday, we'll be here after SummerSlam for WWE 2K25 My GM. And then no stream on Sunday because, well, SummerSlam is on as well as the final night of EVO, and I do want to check that out. We will be here Monday night. This time I actually plan on being here Monday night instead of canceling. We'll play it by ear. We'll see what we're going to wrap up there in that point. Might hit the, just because we're fired up from EVO, might get into the Backbreaker Fight Club a day early. Or maybe some MLB. Maybe some golf. Maybe some Fortnite. Who knows? But just do yourself a favor. If you're on Twitch, make sure you hit the follow button if you haven't already. I'll let you know every time I go live. But most importantly, more than anything else, thank you everybody for being here. Always appreciate you. And this is going to be a fun main event tonight. Ricochet and Mark Briscoe, I don't expect this to go very long. I know they usually take a few extra minutes of time overboard, but I don't think it's going to be that far this time, just because what are they going to do? Have a crazy match between Briscoe and Ricochet and have MJF ruin it to end it? Because now MJF has to find a way to get a match with Briscoe to get his shot at Hangman. Which I think is rather smart with Hangman with what he did, right? So, all right, what we got here? Willow! Trapezoid of Crapazoid? So TK actually talks like that? So we're getting Willow and Tekla tomorrow night. I'll take it. So we're getting Willow and Tekla. We're getting FTR and the Bang Bang Gang. We're getting Brodito and the Gates of Agony. We're getting Fletcher and Dustin. So we got, what, 5 matches already booked? With Collision, that's almost a full deck here. The good old, why are we having a stretcher match? Let's just have a stretcher match. I am so glad they're calling back to it tonight. I found it so funny, that match. They did a hell of a job, don't get me wrong. But as soon as he won, they basically faded right to black on that and moved to the back immediately. Yeah, this will be fun. World's End at the Saturday after Christmas in Chicago. And we were talking about this off the start of the show. It makes sense why you do it there on TK's end. And I said it on X too. If you were a multi-billionaire and you owned a wrestling promotion and you could have a wrestling show half an hour from your house, wouldn't you? And I know Zodiac, you commented they should have it in Jacksonville. Well, unfortunately, they can't have, like, having it where they work is a little different. But also, would you? It wouldn't surprise me if there was a contract clause that they couldn't put it in the Jacksonville. Like, I wouldn't think which arena does Jacksonville have? Maybe one of the college places? I would love to see when the Rays get their new ownership, if they can get the building fixed, have the Veterans Memorial ViStar Arena. I knew we had a resource there. Is that where the Florida Everblades play? Have it in Jag Stadium? You know that's going to happen eventually. They've already had a match in there. As you remember, they had the original Stadium Stampede was in there. Oh, it's the Jacksonville Iceman. Okay. Because I remember you went to a game there. Oh, Excalibur, don't start with your revisionist history. Yeah, they're great. Hey, you know what? Greatness has all different levels. And let's face it, Florida is the home of hockey now, apparently. Now I have a real job, going to games is more difficult. That's fair. I've been the same way. Like, we have local teams here that my work sponsors. And I can't get to any of them because of the work schedule. So I'm either working or I'm streaming, which, you know, I love hanging out with you guys more than anything. So you are a hockey country. I'm just going to let this run for a few seconds, folks. I want to remind everybody of the hockey country there. Jesus, Briscoe. What a right hand. And here we go. Also, when I have free time, focused on content for the show. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like what? I ended up editing 4 videos today. Just chilling out and had a friend of the show, Catherson, stream on for most of the afternoon. Just lurking and editing at the same time. By the way, if you guys are interested in WWE wrestling, our fellow contributor, Walker Pipe Guy, as we're hitting the picture, it's perfect. Walker Pipe Guy has his Edmonton Extra Life Pro Wrestling, where he takes donators to the Stollery Children's Hospital that go through his page. He creates them in WWE form and puts them in a wrestling profession. The replay of their PLE from last weekend. I love the titles of these. Beat the Heat 2, which is somewhat appropriate today. That will be the replay of it will be up in the condensed form up on our Backbreaker Gaming YouTube channel coming up this Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. So if you're getting yourself ready for SummerSlam in the morning, go check out some wrestling. Check out your tag team champion right here. As I am as part of a 6-man tag on the show. Of course, it's with the former Extra Life Wrestling champion. Because we got to get him back on the winning track. But, yeah, the rest of the card is absolutely amazing. About 2 hours. A lot of fun. A great cause. I've edited out all the fluffs, so you don't have to worry about that. So. But, yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of craziness, as they would say. So, but yeah, my solo run for my GM, which includes the matches and the talking that we did on Saturday, that'll be available as well on Friday. And then Sunday, if you want to see me play baseball very poorly, my replay of the Weekend Classic from last weekend will be up on Sunday. So I'll have to go back and see who I gave money to tonight. Sorry, one of my Twitch subscribes just went through, and I'm just like, huh? So, with everything going on this week, I do have to ask, what's your level of excitement for wrestling overall after tonight? Like, we got 2 nights of wrestling, or 2 nights of SummerSlam coming up. We got Collision tomorrow night. We got GCW all over the place this weekend. We have, and want to give a shout out to a local wrestler here in Alberta, Zoe Sager, who's going to be part of the WWE ID tryouts on Friday. Yeah, there's a House of Glory show on Friday as well. Vic, you going to work it, or you going to it, or? There's a lot going on this weekend, and WrestleMania mode since Monday. Hey, I don't blame you, Vic. Oh, you're working it? Good. Good. Make sure that JD from New York is not in the building. That's just, if I'll pay you a little bit extra on the side if we want to make sure that's fixed. Not really excited for SummerSlam. I can understand that. You'll talk. I know the story about Ricochet already, saying he don't want him there. So I haven't been watching much of WWE as well, but like I'll watch the abbreviated points, and Simon Miller I've been watching a lot of, creative summaries about everything lately. I'll have to say I'm more excited for night 2 than night 1, as it stands right now. Ready for SummerSlam and watch what I can on YouTube for Japan. Watch independent shows on YouTube. Yeah, like, if you're a wrestling fan, you are not going to be disappointed this weekend. Why is Remsburg attacking Ricochet's bald head? Jesus, Ricochet. You gotta love the distraction spot, but at the same time, Ricochet just... I think Ricochet is a very unique character for the fact that he is able to do the flippy-dippy stuff while still being a heel. It's been a hard combination for people to do that, so... You can tell that this is going over time because they're already advertising what's going on tomorrow night, so... Ricochet is amazing, and yeah, like... Just getting the ability to, to show off what he really can do. Like, there is a possibility that Ricochet could be... Ricochet could be the biggest loss of WWE in many ways. Not into football or baseball or anything. I watch the big game. Yeah, like, I get that too. Like, even with hockey now, I'll watch the condensed highlights. One of the best things that happens here in Canada is the fact we get NHL and MLB and all that in 30. So either in YouTube they can do 10-minute stuff, or on our sports channels they'll summarize shows up in 30 minutes. And if they can do that in 30 minutes, I can watch things a lot faster that way. I was that kid that never stopped. Watch, well, I'll be 39 next. I'll be honest, there was one time that I stopped watching wrestling, and that's just because I was unable to get near a TV, let alone a power source, for the better part of 2 years. I do find it ironic that as much of a wrestling fan as I am, the one part of my life I was not able to watch wrestling was the Attitude Era. And my very first match I saw was Hogan Andre. Well, that whole show, actually. So it was on a scrambled signal. Briscoe kicking out of Vertigo. Hot diggity dog. Are they just going to throw things out? Yeah, they're going to throw this match out. Oh, never mind. Here comes Brodito. They're a little late getting out there, it looks like. Throw him right into the fans. That's great. Slacked at the end of the Revolutionary. That's fair. I think Brodito took a little bit too much time to get out there, which is causing this extra little delay here. Small package! Do we call that the MJF now? If we're talking about small package? Or do we call it the kosher pickle? Oh. Jesus! It's not very kosher or halal. Drilla! In the words of Kevin Kelly. What a freaking match. Briscoe's won 2 matches in a row now. What I missed between Christian Cage and this? Christian Cage got attacked by the old patriarchy. World title match. We get another match right now? Yeah, the Outrunners lose to the Bucks. Do yourself a favor if you haven't seen it yet, Vic. Go check out the entrance at the beginning of Dynamite between the Outrunners and the Bucks. The Bucks got okay. We're not going to run this late. Next week. I meet people like this in my job. They're very nice. Eh? He's probably outside in his vehicle or... That's where the Bucks had their promo. MJF's actually going to wrestle next week? Of course. MJF did nothing wrong again. Wait, he did something wrong. You are, you moron. You just kicked a man in the balls after you snuck up from behind. Last time I checked, that is the exact definition of a coward. And here comes the ring. No way. Could you imagine he knocks out Hangman right now? All right, it got close there. That's attitude right there. The promo in the back, surprising the ring. Yeah. Well, you got to remember that's the time that Tony Khan grew up in. Like he was sitting in the crowd at ECW shows. All right. And with that, I think we're going to be wrapping up the show here. Amazing title match between Mox and Hangman. Briscoe and Ricochet did what they did. They did it very well. Athena gets a victory over Toni Storm, which Tony's not afraid to take a pinfall or two to progress the story. We're getting Willow Nightingale and Thekla tomorrow night. I forgot about that. Statlander's going to be there too, so that'll be interesting to see how that works. The Bucks with their generic entrance and their jobber entrance end up getting the victory over the Outrunners. Sort of setting up, it looks like we're probably going to end up with the Bucks versus FTR. But who knows at this point. But all in all, pretty decent Dynamite here tonight. Great way to go out of Chicago with. Great job on all ends. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up here for the Sidecast tonight. Want to thank everybody for checking things out, both on YouTube and on Twitch. Unfortunately, yeah, I saw their nameplate. Yeah, that was what I use. It literally looks exactly what I use when I set up when I was doing MPW and RCW. But for YouTube, that's going to wrap you guys up for tonight. Unfortunately, due to the music that we use during the stream, it gets flagged every time. So unfortunately, I can't run 2K on the on both channels. So for those that are on YouTube here, make sure you check out Mike the Ref on Twitch, as we're going to be continuing on here in just a moment here. But next time we're going to be on YouTube is Thursday night with AEW Collision. So make sure you stop by, say hi, enjoy the sky, kiss the pie. And for my rhyming, I don't know why. Either way, we will see you all on Thursday, folks. Take care. We wrap up that end there.